Now, a nail professional in my home state, Iowa, in the United States, asked this question. What is the fuzzy white stuff on the surface of the nail plate after I remove nail polish from my client's toenails? It started on one toe, and now other toes have these same spots. They file off easily, so I don't think it's surface damage, and they don't go away when the nail plate is wet, so I don't think it's surface dehydration. I agree. This does not sound like any kind of surface damage or dehydration. Surface dehydration is quickly reversed when water is applied to the nail plate. But there is another possibility that should be considered. This could be a type of fungal infection called WSO, which stands for white superficial onychomycosis. W for white, but these can be grayish colored as well. S is for superficial, which means that it grows on the surface of the nail plate, and O is for onychomycosis, which is the medical term for any type of nail fungal infection. About 10% of all fungal infections of the nails are considered to be WSO infections. A WSO infection of the surface of the nail plate can be caused by one of 3 or 4 different types of fungal organisms. Typically, these organisms infect the upper surface of the nail plate, and they have the appearance of white patches or little white islands or dots on the surface of the nail plate. Now, the plate can look like it's covered with a white, speckled, or powdery looking patches, spots, or even streaks that appear on the surface of the nail plate. WSO can become more powdery as the infection worsens. If they go untreated, these organisms can infect deeper layers of the nail plate, and as the condition advances, the nail plate will become rough and crumble easily. The surface of the nail plate may take on a brownish or a grayish surface coloration. Now, children can get these WSO infections, and because their nails are thinner, the infecting organisms can infect the entire thickness of the nail plate. The fuzzy appearance that creates this whitish layer can sometimes be easily filed away. But if this file is not properly cleaned and disinfected, the infection can be transmitted to other nails. These infections are most often seen on the feet rather than on the hands, since that's where fungal organisms prefer to grow. They prefer to grow in a warm, moist environment. They're also sometimes seen growing underneath nail polish, and they're frequently mistaken for dehydration, which results in them being miscategorized as so-called nail granulations. But this makes no sense. Nail polish doesn't dehydrate the nail plate. In fact, it does the opposite. Wearing nail polish increases the moisture content of the nail plate from about 15% water content to about a 20% water content. That 5% increase in water content of the nail plate makes it easier for these fungal organisms to grow. Because these infections are usually restricted to the surface of the nail plate, they can be easier for medical professionals to treat. But if they're ignored, these organisms can infect a deeper layer of the nail plate, which will make it harder for the physician to get rid of the infection. So if you suspect that your client has a WSO infection, send them to a medical professional for proper diagnosis and treatment if required.